All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Eric, and welcome to today's information session from Neotech Academy. And before we went officially on the air, I asked everyone, describe your ideal job. And I was getting, I had a great response, good pay, working remotely, uh, flexibility, the ability to work anywhere in the world. I love that. And I think what it boils down to really is freedom. So we're going to talk about a lot of things today in our Saturday session just before Christmas. But really, what it boils down to is freedom. It's the ability to kind of do things on your terms for a change. So, we're going to talk about some things today, or a career path, I should say, which doesn't discriminate regarding your age, where you're from, who you are, what your background is. Doesn't matter if you have a college degree or if you've got a college degree, but it's not in this sector, in this field. None of that matters. What matters is, do you have the desire to do the job? So here's what I want you to do. And we're going to train you to do that job, by the way. So I want you to do this, if you would, real quickly, write down that date that you see on your screen. February 16, 2025. February 16, 2025. Keep that in mind because that is going to be the date of our next boot camp, which is an accelerated course teaching you in 6 months what would take you years. We're compressing it down to 6 months so that you can get your IT career started potentially next spring. Can't guarantee it, but potentially, next spring. Imagine where your life could be, 6+ months from now. So we'll get into all of that in just a few minutes. We also have an alumni with us today, Mustafa, who's going to be joining us. And he was in a situation just like you, watching one of these webinars and wondering, who are these guys? What's the IT career? What is the IT industry all about? Is that really for me? Am I the right fit for it? So you'll be able to interact with him. We're going to ask questions of him. He'll introduce himself to you, but you will also be encouraged to ask questions of him as well. All right. So we're going to be doing all of that. This is going to be action-packed and fun-filled. And if you're on the East Coast, at least, what a great way to spend a Saturday afternoon, huh? With us and potentially getting your life changed. That's how I look at it. So as we go ahead and get started with this, we're going to give you some information on who Neotech Academy is. Like I said, you'll meet one of our founders in just a few minutes, as well as one of our alumni, and we will answer all of your questions and get to all the pertinent information, like tuition, money back guarantee, all that good stuff. All right. So why consider an IT career? I would say, why not consider a career in IT? Because this is the, potential. I would argue this is the fastest growing industry out there because everything is pretty much tech related, or many things are tech related nowadays. And in the future, it's only going to get more tech related. Many of our alumni have received job offers which are remote, like I was saying earlier. And, remote opportunities, while they aren't a guarantee, there are more remote jobs available today than at any point in our history. And let me just mention this. For lack of a better way of putting it, the one silver lining to COVID, the pandemic, it's hard to believe that was almost 5 years ago when that started, in early 2020. Here we are getting into 2025 here very soon. But, one of the silver linings to it was that it taught people that tomorrow is not a guarantee. How many of you would agree with that, by the way, that tomorrow is not a guarantee? It also taught us that we've got to have a plan B. We can't rely necessarily on corporate America, so to speak. We can't even rely on the government. When all these companies were being shut down, during the height of COVID, really the IT career continued to thrive. Why is that? Because there were so many remote opportunities available already, and so COVID only increased those opportunities. And it's and that's a great thing, because think about that. If something, God forbid, happens again, another pandemic, something of that nature, knowing that you've got a career that is secure, that doesn't require you having even to leave the home in a lot of cases with a potential remote opportunity and getting paid higher than the typical salary and even an entry level position. IT careers really do check all the boxes. Now, there are some companies out there that do require you to come into the office. Some might have a hybrid type role, but you probably have seen videos, you've probably seen things on TV where people show you where they work, their work environment in some of these IT companies. And a lot of them have, great benefits. They have, gym memberships. Unless you work at X, used to be Twitter, I guess you don't get, the free meals with them anymore. But a lot of these companies do provide meals as well, all kinds of good stuff, all kinds of incentives for you. But just to recap real quickly, your age. I get this question a lot. I'm in my 40s, I'm in my 50s, I'm in my 60s. Can I do this? Can I make a transition? The answer is yes. Companies don't care about your age so much in this field. They care about can you do the job, which we're going to train you to do. What about my background? I'm seeing a lot of people nowadays who are making a transition, who are joining us to get trained, who are from the medical field. I've noticed that quite a bit. The mortgage industry, I've seen quite a few of those. Teachers also. Your background doesn't matter. I don't care if you're a valet parking cars. I don't care if you're a bartender. It doesn't matter what it is that you are. Again, it's having the desire to do this and having the experience working on projects that we're going to give you. We're going to give you projects so you get that experience. Also, language. Now, language, let me touch on that. Do you have to be an expert in the English language? You do have to be able to understand. You have to be able to communicate in English. Do you have to be, the greatest English speaker in the world? Because we have a lot of folks who do move forward with us, who become a student, and ultimately they get into the IT career, and English was not their first language. You have to have an understanding of English, and you have to be able to communicate, but don't worry if don't use that as a barrier. Don't worry about that. If you can understand me right now, if you can, communicate, you'll be fine. But variety of career opportunities, easy career growth, higher than average salaries in the IT industry. Now, a lot of people, what they do is this. When they start off in the IT industry, they get started with what's referred to as software testing. Some of you may have heard of software testing before. This is a very important career in the IT industry because think about it like this. All of you have used an application at some point in your life. I'm sure you have. You've used Instagram, you've used Facebook, you've used Uber, whatever the case may be. So if you've done that, which I'm sure all of you have, you know what a good application that works is like. Maybe you pull up your, Amazon on your phone, the app, and you order something and it arrives at your house the same day or the next day. So that's what you bring to the table is my point. You have used technology. What we're going to do is give you some technical knowledge and hands-on expertise on top of that. You put it all together and you're going to learn with our help how to do software testing. Now, what is a software tester from a 30,000-foot view? Let me explain that to you. Well, if you're a company and you're about to introduce a product, an application to the marketplace, you want it to be perfect or as close to perfect as possible, right? Because you don't want it to crash when people use it, customers, because you'll get killed with bad reviews. You want to make sure that the color scheme, the developers did that correctly. The fonts are correct. Everything should be exactly to your specifications. That's where you, as the software tester, come into play. Why? Because you're going to test out the program to make sure everything is functional, everything was done exactly as the company wanted it to be. And if not, you're going to make note of it, let the developer know, and then they're the ones who actually fix it. So don't worry about fixing it yourself. You are charged with finding the bugs, finding the defects. Now, the question, of course, would be, well, how do I know what these defects are? You'll be given a list referred to as the requirements. So you simply will follow this checklist. You'll check for this. Is the color scheme right? Is the font correct? When I test it out, does it work properly? Am I able to do everything that it's supposed to do? If that's the case, great. If not, you make a note of it, pass it on to the developing team, and then they take care of it. But your job is to find the bugs, find the flaws in the program. Let me pause for a second and look over here to my chat, which is on my other screen. Does that make sense? Just from a 30,000 foot view, do you guys get that? What you're doing with the software testing, assuming that is the direction that you go, is you are trying to find what's wrong with the program. That makes sense? As I look over here to the chat, we're good to go. So it's a very important role. And when we're done with this, thank you for that acknowledgement, by the way. When we're done with our information session today, I would highly encourage you. I mean, don't do it now because you'll get distracted. But when we're done, go to a career website and look for, software testing in your area. And I think you'll see that there are a lot of opportunities in most areas, and they start off paying pretty well on top of that. So here's what we did. We created a career-focused boot camp that'll teach you from scratch how to become competent in and really proficient in having an IT career. And as I said earlier, a lot of software testers, a lot of them, don't have college degrees. It's not a requirement in many cases. Employers just want to know if you can do the job. So what we're going to do in our boot camp is give you actual projects to work on. Now, I always like to point this out because some of you might be able to relate to this. I learn better in an environment where people aren't just telling me what to do, but they're actually showing me what to do. So telling me yes, but also showing me what to do, and then making me do it, and then making sure that I'm doing it correctly. Some of you might be able to relate to that. It's called experiential training, and that's what we do here. We don't just have a PowerPoint presentation, and all of our classes are delivered online, just like this, through Zoom. But it's not just, showing you what to do and that's it, or telling you what to do, I should say. We show you what to do from people that are actually in the industry. You'll meet one of our lead instructor in just a minute. His name is Elian. He's our founder, one of our founders of Neotech Academy. He'll tell you more. He'll go more in depth about how he conducts his classes and so forth. But we're telling you, we're showing you, you do it. We make sure you do it correctly. There's homework involved. It's just like an actual school. We'll go through the times and all that good stuff in just a little bit. But don't worry if you miss a session. We record them. You can watch them at your convenience. But you can see on the screen here, some of the career paths that might take place after you graduate. You've got software development, engineer, and test. So you've got automated testing, you've got manual testing. You've got QA engineer, quality analyst, test lead. Some of these terms might seem unfamiliar to you right now, but as you start to go through the program, it'll all be explained to you. Okay, so we have a career-focused syllabus that has been noted for being superior to a lot of boot camps, most boot camps that are out there. So Course Report, which is very highly respected in our industry, rated our boot camp, our quality assurance QA testing boot camp, #1, best QA testing boot camp for 2023, as well as this year, 2024, and Career Karma rated us best software testing boot camp for 2024. Now, I said this earlier, but make sure you make a note of this, folks. Starting September 16, that's when our next boot camp begins, our 6-month accelerated course. That's where you get hands-on experience on real projects. That then leads potentially to a career in IT. It could be software testing. It could be software development, engineer, and test. And as you start to go through the program, you'll be able to identify which areas you might start to gravitate towards. But we also have a career placement, which we'll talk about a little bit later as well. So we don't leave any stone unturned. Not only do we train you, but we also try to help you find a job after you get trained, which we'll talk about how that works a little bit later. So again, don't get confused, about, what does this mean up here after I take the boot camp, and what is Scrum Master all about? What's an API tester? What's API all about? Some of you probably may have heard of that, but the rest of you might not have. Don't worry. I always try to explain it as, when I was a kid in high school and I took calculus, the first semester of calculus I thought was very confusing. I'm like, why am I even taking this? But I knew I had to take it, to qualify, make looks good on your college, it looks good on your transcript, when you try to get into college, that you took calculus and the higher maths and all those tough courses, right? My point is, by the second semester, you probably had down what was confusing you in the first semester. Why? Because you had done it over and over. So what seems confusing at first isn't confusing once you actually engage in it, once you actually do it. So don't worry if those terms sound confusing. It'll all come to you as you start to go through the process with us. So what I want to do now is introduce to you one of the founders of Neotech Academy and lead instructor. His name is Elian. So Elian is going to come on and he's going to tell you a little bit about himself and go into more detail as to what we offer here with our life-changing boot camp. So Elon, you want to go ahead and take it away, my friend?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Eric. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. Okay. So I hope that you can see my screen. So yeah, my name is Elion Limanai, and I have been a software engineer for 20 years right now. So 5 years ago, together with our friends, we decided to create a bootcamp so that we can help people start a career in IT. So starting in a career in IT, it's beautiful, but you need to start with easy steps. So one of the easiest steps is starting the career as a as a software tester. So when we talk about IT industry is very broad, and there are a lot of fields there. Like when you talk about when you say doctor, it's not only one type of doctor. There's a lot of different types of doctors. So the same thing is also for the IT industry. So when you say IT, there are a lot of different fields. Like you have software engineering, you have software testing, you have database architect, you have DevOps, you have cybersecurity, you have network engineer, and a lot of other fields. And now more and more the AI is also coming into the view. So so when we talk about IT, right, one of the easiest ways to start a career in IT is through software testing. So software testing is that part of the let's say software creation. So we have the software developers which are creating the software for the company, and the same company is also hiring the software testers which are trying to break the software, are trying to crash the software, to find any problems, to find any defects, to find any bugs before the software is going to the customers. So anytime then there is an update in the software, you want the testers to make sure that everything is working fine. If something goes wrong, then they let the team know, they let the software developers know so that they need to fix the problem. And if everything goes fine, that they make the update. So that is the process that happens when you're trying to update a software. And sometimes I don't know if you have seen the cases, guys, when a software update is done and the software crashes. If you remember, like a couple of months ago, there was a problem with I think with an antivirus. So the testers probably didn't do the jobs correct, or maybe the company didn't have testers, and there was a problem in the airlines. A lot of flights were canceled, and a lot of things happened there. So that is the job, right? That is how important the software testers job is in the software development part. So to do this part, guys, you can do these things manually, right? So this is the first part, right? So I'm going to talk about our whatever we're teaching in our boot camp. So the first part is manual testing. So what is manual testing? Is doing these tests, right? Trying to break the software, trying to log in with the wrong information, or I don't know, different things, trying to see things that you're not supposed to see in the software. So you can do these things manually, and this is called manual testing. But now, as you already know, guys, more and more the companies are asking for people who are doing these things automatically. So you need to have to write some code, and your code will test the software. So your company is hiring the software developers. They are creating the product, they're creating the software, and you as testers, you're writing the software, you're writing your scripts which will test, which will try to break the system. Okay, so you're kind of hackers, let's say, right? So working as a manual tester, of course, is possible, but the salaries are low, and more the companies are passing into automation. That's why we're teaching coding, we're teaching programming, and the programming language we teach in our bootcamp is Java programming language. There are probably a lot of different programming languages that you have heard, and you can go with any of them. but Java is one of the strongest, one of the most commonly used programming languages. And as long as you know one of them, then you can definitely also switch to the others. So we have a lot of cases when a student of ours, they learn our tools, they learn Java, and when they go to the company, they're using a different program, they're using a different software, but still they hire him or her because the programming language is not important. The way of doing it, the logic is very important. As long as you can do with one of them, you can definitely learn another programming language. So this is one of the main parts of of our bootcamp, which is the first 3 months. We're learning about Java programming language. And then after that, we learn the software testing tools. So we see here, we have here, we call it automation testing. So you learn about Cucumber, you learn about TestNG, you learn about Selenium. So what are these tools? These tools are, right, are allow you to interact with the browser, to send the commands there. So you write your code, and through these tools that we're mentioning here, you're gonna be able to open the browser, you're gonna be able to log into the software and try to do different things there, okay? And then write a lot of scripts, write a lot of tests, and then group them together and then run all of them. And if something goes wrong, you can take the screenshot. All of these things are done by these automation testing tools. So after you're done with this part, guys, or about these 3 tools here at the beginning, then you can work as front test testing, right? So front test testing is the part when you are testing the things that the users can see. So let us take an example. Let's say that you're working for Facebook, right? And then Facebook, they have their application there. It can be a mobile application or web application. And then whatever the users see, so they go there, they log in, they try to share some posts, they're trying to see their friends' posts, they're trying to make new friends, or I don't know, block friends. So you are, right, you're testing all these things through these tools, through this automation testing tools, and this is called front-end testing. And of course, you can work as front-end testers, but of course, we want our students to be exposed to even more job openings. That's why we are also teaching the back-end testing. So what is back-end testing? Back-end testing is testing the back part, the things that the users don't see. So if you take the facebook.com, every friend you make, they're stored somewhere there, so they know who are your friends. Every post you're making is stored somewhere else. And by the way, of course, FBI has access to those, so be careful whatever you post on your social media, right? This is just a joke, but it's true. So everything is stored somewhere. So the software testers, they also need to test the back part of the software. So through APIs, and of course, we're going to learn all these things, guys. What is database? What is API? What is front end? What is back end? You're going to learn all these things during the bootcamp, but I'm just trying to give you a preview so that you know what you're talking about. And if you go and do some research, or maybe you have some friends or cousins working in this field, you can ask them. So these are teaching us Java, Selenium, TestNG, Cucumber, front-end testing, back-end testing, database, API. Are these things enough for me in this field? And then, right, you can learn, right, make some research and get an answer from there. So you're also going to learn database and API testing, which is called the back-end testing. And when you know the front-end and the back-end testing, if you know both of them together, you're also considered as full stack tester. And as I said, the salaries are higher, and there are a lot of even more job openings. Okay, so these are the technical tools, right? The technical things that we teach in our bootcamp. But of course, we also teach this something we call soft skills. So every Wednesday we have a class when we're teaching our students what are the terminology that are used in this field. How do you communicate with other team members? How do you apply in the jobs? How do you prepare your resume? How, right? All these things, right? All these things that are not probably technical, but are very important, maybe even more important than the technical skills, are taught in our soft skill classes, right? And then, as I said, every once a week, every Wednesday, we have a class. We're teaching this terminology and these things to the students. Or for example, in this field, right, they're done a lot of meetings, right? We have the stand-up meetings, you have the sprint meetings, you have the sprint grooming, right? A lot of different meetings. So what is this terminology? What does this mean? What are these meetings that you do? So whenever you start working in a company, you are working there with people that have experience, and you are one of them. And also, guys, even after you're done with the bootcamp, guys, we also, right, after you're done with learning everything, you're going to start applying for the jobs. So we have our career placement team, which will help us, which will help you with the part of job application. Even after you applying for jobs, you go to the interviews, you're gonna get some offers. Even with that part, we help you, right? So you're getting an offer. They're requesting from you some information. Are these valid information or not? We're gonna also help you. I don't know, help with filling these forms that are needed for right for in these jobs. Sometimes you get multiple offers. Which one is better? Which one would you pick? How can you increase your compensation? All this part here, guys, are helped by our career placement team, which is even after the boot camp is over. Okay, so we're gonna start from zero when you know nothing. We're gonna teach you the tools. We're gonna teach you how to communicate, how to go to interviews, how to prepare a resume, and also when you're applying for the jobs, we're gonna be there to help you right with the recruiters, with everything through the interviews. And if after even after you find after you get offers, we're gonna help you with that part until you're happy, right, working in a company. So again, one more time, these are the tools that we're teaching there. As I said, guys, maybe you see here that there are a lot of tools, but I don't want you to be scared. I just want you to be informed what you're signing up for, what you're going to learn. And as I said, maybe you can do some research or ask your friends, are these the correct tools? Are these good tools that this bootcamp is teaching? So Java is the programming language. Postman and Rest Assured are for API testing, which is backend. MySQL is again database or backend testing, right? TestNG and Cucumber are these testing tools together with Selenium. So Selenium helps you open the browser, and TestNG and Cucumber help you, right, writing a lot of scripts and being able to prioritize and to make sure whatever failed and whatever passed to have a report so that you can share it with your team. Jira software is a tool that is very commonly used in every part of the IT. So whenever you're having a project, you have a lot of tasks. How do you split this task between people? Let's say you give a task. Is this 2 hours or is this 2 days? Is this 5 hours? Is this a week? So that Jira software is the tool that is used for you to share these tasks and to make sure that every week your manager is checking if you're on track with your tasks. So Jenkins is a tool that just helps with automation, right? With continuous integration. GitHub is a tool that is used a lot in the software industry, right? When you're trying to write a software, you want to share your code with other people. So GitHub is that tool that is used a lot. And these are, as I said, these are different tools that you're going to teach during the bootcamp. So one more time, guys, just to wrap this one up. So what do we do during the bootcamp? We gonna give you hands-on experience. So we're gonna teach classes, we're gonna give you tasks, homework, and we're gonna give you a couple of big projects so that we are simulating the real work environment here in the bootcamp. So when you go to in the real work, you're gonna have a lot of experience. How to collaborate with other team members. So we have developers in our team. We have experienced software testers, which we call them mentors, and we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna teach the current tools, methods, strategies, and everything that are in the trend as of right now. And in the future, if new tools are coming, which are being more commonly used, we can update our curriculum and to teach the new tools if needed. All the classes, guys, are online. As of right now, we're doing this Zoom meeting and you're joining our Zoom meeting. The same thing will be with the classes. You're gonna watch it from your home. The classes will be there. And also they will be recorded and shared with you. The same thing with this meeting here right now, guys. We're gonna share the link with you when we're done, the recording with you, and you can rewatch it again. I don't know if you have any questions or anything that you want to watch there, or also maybe share with your friends which are interested and maybe do the bootcamp together. So the same thing will be with our course. We're gonna record everything and we're gonna share them with you in our platform so that you're gonna be able to rewatch the videos, or if you missed the class, you can watch the video that you missed. We have our one-on-one training and mentorship program. So we are very proud of our mentorship program. We have a lot of our alumni. So during this 5 years of our bootcamp, we have a lot of graduates, a lot of alumni which are working in the field. They will come to you. We're gonna have small groups with the mentors once a week, and you can ask questions to them. What is happening in the field? What is happening in the field? If you have any questions for them and for the small details, you can have small group meetings with the mentors. They will also help you during the project to make sure that you're doing professionally, right, the right way that is done in the company. As I said, guys, even after the bootcamp is over, we're gonna help you prepare for the market. So we're gonna help you prepare your resume, we're going to do a one-on-one mock interview with each of our students. When the bootcamp is done, we're going to take you, for example, here we have John, we have other people here that are joining. Let's suppose that there are students. We're going to do an interview. Our mentors or instructors are going to do an interview to them. Ask questions. Do you know this thing about Java? Do you know this thing about Selenium? Do you know this thing about GitHub? And if they answer correctly, then we say, we give you the green light. You can prepare your resume and you can start applying for the job. If you're not good, if you're not ready yet, we're going to let you know, give you some feedback. It's not about failing you. It's about giving you some feedback so that you can work more, prepare, and then you do another mock interview in a couple of weeks to make sure that you're ready for the market. Okay. And then again, as I said, we have a lot of alumni, a lot of recruiters that we're working with. And if there are any job openings in their companies, we're going to share them with our students. But of course, they're also going to learn how to research themselves, how to apply to a lot of jobs during the time that they are in the market. And even after they find a job, when they got an offer or maybe multiple offers, we're going to help them maximize their compensation. Let's say they have two offers. Which one is better? How can you make this? How can you increase this one too, right? One of them is hybrid, one of them is in office, one of them is remote. So which one is better and which one should you pick? And that's what we're going to help you during this time. So this is the schedule of our classes, guys. These are the mandatory class hours. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3 days a week from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m., 3 hours on Tuesday, 3 hours on Wednesday, 3 hours on Thursday. So it is 9 hours during the weekdays, and Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. So 4 hours on Saturday and 4 hours on Sunday, 8 hours during the weekend. So there is a total of 17 hours of classes during every week. So during this month, guys, you're going to have 17 hours of classes. A teacher will be there. They're going to be teaching. You're going to be trying to write together with the teacher. If you have any problems, you're going to have assistants there, which will help you to support if you have any technical problems. By the way, guys, all these times are Eastern time. So it means New York time, right? New Jersey time. If you are in a different time zone, you might be from California. Then this will be from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. This will be from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. So 11 a.m. So please make sure that you make your own calculations if you're in a different time zone to make sure that you are available during these times. It's very important for you guys to be available during this time, to take the bootcamp seriously, to try to join all the classes live so that you can ask a lot of questions during the classes. But of course, if you're not available in any of them because maybe you're working and it doesn't, your work schedule doesn't work, not a problem, guys. As I said, your class will be recorded. They will be shared with you and you're going to be able to rewatch the class later. But of course, it's very important, guys, to watch a class before the next one. If you're missing a class, not a problem. Watch the recording, but make sure you're watching that one before the next one, because otherwise, if you skip a couple of classes, then it will be very difficult for you to learn because you're learning everything one step by step. Okay. So these are 17 hours, guys. But besides this one, we're going to give you tasks. We're going to give you homework, right? You have a lot of our small meetings. So you might need like 5 to 10 hours per week extra outside of these hours, guys. Of course, depending on the person, depending on your availability. But it's very important, guys, for you to take the bootcamp seriously. Try to make sure to know what you're committing for, guys. If you don't have time, if you're not available, if you have two jobs or maybe, I don't know, kids and jobs and a lot of things going on, please don't start the bootcamp. It's not for you if you don't have the time, guys. We cannot teach you if you are not willing to learn. We can teach you only if you have time, if you're willing to learn, and if you're trying hard. The thing of this, guys, in 6 or 7 months, your life will change. You're gonna learn these tools during these 6 months or 7 months, and at the end, you're gonna be starting applying for jobs, and maybe in a couple of months, you're gonna find a job. So a lot of people, they're having a college degree and sometimes they don't find a job. Sometimes they also have a master's degree and they don't find a job. So they're wasting a lot of money and a lot of time. But this bootcamp is concentrated. We're teaching only the things you need so that at the end, you're going to be able to do this job. But of course, you can do this one only if you commit your time, if you dedicate, and if you take this one seriously. Okay. So I want to be upfront, guys. I want you to not to think that, oh, okay, I'm going to join this bootcamp, pay the money, and then at the end, I'll be able to find a job. There is no job guarantee if you don't take the bootcamp seriously and if you don't spend the time there. Okay. So now I'm going to invite one of our Alumni, one of our students. Let me invite him. Okay, so can you please accept it? Okay, just 1 second. I'm gonna. Okay, just 1 second. Okay, perfect. Now, can you please share your camera? Okay, perfect, perfect.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Mustafa. So we have Mustafa here, guys. He was a student of ours 2 years ago. He can tell us the time, right, when he was, his experience during the boot camp, after the boot camp when he was applying for a job, and then after he found the job, then he has been working now, I don't know, more than a year in the company. And by the way, guys, please don't forget to ask your questions in the chat section of the Zoom. I'm going to direct your questions to him so that he can answer your questions from the student perspective. Thank you for joining, Mustafa, and please share your information.
Thank you very much, Elian. Yeah, I finished the boot camp 2021. It's earlier than what you said, actually. So I work since 2022 now as a professionally. So in my first career, in my first job, so I was hired by as a QA engineer. So where I was responsible for the manual testing, and then I was feeling so the automation side. So I had experience doing automation, and now I work in cybersecurity company as a automation engineer. So I built the framework from scratch, whatever the information I learned from the academy. And after that, so I improved that informations, and now I built another framework which was necessary for us. It's a playwright using with a different language, but it was so smooth transition for me to build another framework after I learned the Selenium.
That's very good. So, by the way, I'm going to try to translate because you're using technical terms. Now you're in a different stage, but to make sure that they're going to understand. So, first of all, you said that you graduated in 2021 because I don't know, I don't remember because there are a lot of students. I don't remember the exact time for student. And how long did it take for you to find a job after the boot camp?
It was September, right after 3 days later, like after I finished the boot camp. I was so fast, yeah.
So
I
you
got
were lucky you find. By the way, guys, I'm just gonna tell you up front, this is one of the rare cases because most of the students it takes like average 2 to 3 months to find a job. Some
right.
people are lucky they find a job in a week or two, very lucky. And of course, how seriously they took the boot camp. But there are also students that find a job even after 6 months. So you find a job very quickly, but this is a rare case. Uh,
Correct.
and then, are you still with the same company, or did you change to another
Oh,
company?
I changed the company, so I changed two projects in my first company, and then where it was first identity access management, another one's payment system, and now I have another company which is cybersecurity company. I work 5 days on site, and yeah, so this is different, totally different project.
So the first company was remote, and this one is on site.
Correct, correct. I
Okay.
worked 1.5 years as remotely, and then now I work on site.
Okay, perfect. And then the company right now is doing cybersecurity, but you're not cybersecurity. You're doing the testing part of the company, right?
Because this is also application and where they are offering the endpoint protection, and that needs to be tested as well.
Okay, perfect. So there are different things that you can test in a company, guys. Also, another thing is that in the company, you said that in the first company, were they using the similar tools that you learned in the bootcamp or different tools in the first company?
It was because generally people are using on their automations Selenium and a Java base. So new companies and new technology, if the company wants to change the new technology, then some people are changing a different tool. But generally, it was, I can say, 70-80% of the Selenium that what I learned from that new tech.
Okay, what about the second company? Are there different new tools in this second company?
Yeah, they don't have preparation at the beginning because they don't have a framework. They didn't have framework. So I built the framework from scratch using the Selenium. After that, I recognize the application behavior is totally changed. It's not interacting so easily. There was a lot of pause and errors, and that's why I learned to playwright in a week. And now we built another framework from the scratch. Yeah,
So you
using
decided about the tools that you're going to use in the company, and probably
right.
you are the lead QA in your company now.
This is
What is the title in your new company?
yeah, it's fast growing startup company actually, and that's why some titles are not exactly in the people. So we just hired four more QA, which they are aiming to like growing so fast. So that's why now the titles are everybody is the QA automation or something, but it will be identified soon, I believe.
Okay, so your company is growing and hiring people, but generally they want on-site people.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. So, and I heard like a couple of times you suggested a couple of positions to our students if they're in your area and if they're willing to go to the office. I heard from our placement team. Thank you, by the way. So okay, and then by the way, guys, I'm waiting for your questions. If you have any questions for Mustafa, I can direct your questions to him. So one of the questions that I got in the previous webinars is your salary really in the range that Neotex has, like above 100K per year?
Correct. Companies are actually always checking the market, and they even like coming close to a six figure, or they give you exactly six figure, like with the bonuses or something, the other like benefits that they're providing you. But yeah, I'm getting six figure with the bonus and the other benefits as well.
Perfect. And is this yours is a full-time job with you're not a contractor, but a full-time job, right?
Correct, correct.
And you also have the medical benefits and probably 401k and vacation and everything, right?
So there's an option. So for 1K, the health insurance, vision, dental insurance. So beside us, so you have holidays, and then after that, so they give you a bonus, and then your salary, and there's a lot of benefits. But depends the company.
Okay. So one question from Batin is, did you have any prior work experience or college education? Like first, by the way, let me ask the question this way. Do you have a bachelor degree in computer science?
No.
So you have probably a bachelor degree in a different field, right?
Correct. I was first. I finished the two university in Turkey. So first one was restoration. It's like constructional. So other one is business. So which is not related with the computer science and everything. So I was just so close to computer things like social media or like operating video editing, something like this, which is not related even with the software and software testing. But after that, I spent 6 months in the academy. So now I feel more like the computer side and where I want to actually switch my career as the infrastructure or like more cloud things. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So you didn't have the college degree in this field, and also you didn't have any experience with software testing. Of course, you probably have experience with computers and different stuff.
Yeah.
And by the way, guys, just to let you know, like in our boot camp, if a student has, let's say, an education background, then when you do a QA testing, then you're going to apply for jobs and probably going to hire in a company that is doing education software. If you have a business background, generally going to work probably in an insurance company or let's say financial company. So generally, your background will align with the company that you're going to be hired because you have experience in that field, and then you just get our technical part from the boot camp. By the way, were you working in another job during when you took the boot camp yourself? So every person has a different experience, but what was yours?
Yeah, I was just supporting my monthly expenses when I was in the boot camp, but I was fully focused on my career, so that's why I knew it. So if I spend 6 months on my career, then I'll be happy. And like every day after I spend a day at the class and I enjoy it and I understand it, that's why I'm more focused on it. That's why I found a job so quickly, maybe, and also I was lucky.
Okay, perfect. So, and then as I said, guys, everybody has their own experience. So normally the bootcamp has been set in a way that you can still continue with your job because you need to support your family during these 6 months and to do the bootcamp. But there are a lot of people that probably have some money on the side and they can just consider like concentrate on the bootcamp and take and spend more time on the bootcamp. And it will be also easier for them, the bootcamp and also finding a job. But of course, depending on your lifestyle and depending on your financial needs. So in the current company, do you have a schedule set per week, or do you also have our own call or something over the weekend? Do you work on the weekends, and how does it work?
Not on the weekends. So because I set the pipeline, so pipeline is testing for me right now because just at the beginning, if you just spend like a month or something to build your framework, then pipeline is working for you. But if there's something like unnecessary situation, like such as we had a hurricane here. So during the hurricane, we didn't go to office, but so we were on the call in the home. So, but normally, no, I just work 8 to 5, and then weekends are mine.
Yeah, but sometimes if there's any emergency, of course, they'll let you know and maybe you can help, of course, definitely. But you have a generally in this, let's say, generally in this field, as far as if you've seen this during these 2, 3 years, our generally the schedule is like the normal schedule, 40 hours from 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 or whatever, something like that.
Correct, correct. The salary base is 8 to 5. Yeah, 9 to 5, like depends the company, and weekends are yours.
Yeah, perfect. So, by the way, when you were done with the bootcamp, did you need any certificates when you're applying for the jobs?
No, they are not asking any certification. So of course, if you have, it's better. So like whatever you want to add your resume. For example, I wanted to choose to add some AIs, and I finished a couple AI courses, and I had that certification, but it was not right after I finished the bootcamp. So this is now I'm just adding.
So when you found the first job, did you have these certifications when you found the first job?
No.
No. So by the way, guys, when you're completing the bootcamp, we'll provide you with a bootcamp completion certificate, but that's not the point, right? The point is for you to be able to find the job. So you don't need any certificates to find the job. Also, another thing is that there are some certifications that you can add to your portfolio if you want to, but they're extra costing. There are like these companies that give you certificates. You can definitely add them, but they're not needed normally when you're trying to find a job. So you don't need the certifications. Sometimes some companies, they might require you to have a bachelor degree in computer science. It might be rarely, not very common, but if you have it, that might be a plus. Most of our students, I can say 99% of our students don't have any bachelor degree in computer science, and they are able to find a job, of course, in most of the companies. How familiar were you with coding, programming before starting the job? So let me ask you this. Let me change the question. Before starting the bootcamp, how familiar were you with coding before the bootcamp?
I didn't even know what was the Java.
Okay, perfect. So what about when you started applying for the jobs, when you're done with the bootcamp? Were you familiar with coding?
No, I was not
No,
fully.
after the bootcamp. What about after the bootcamp?
Yeah, after the bootcamp. So, of course, like because you are using different technology and like the coding, and you're feeling like, okay, can I coding or not? Because like you're still feeling like so suspicious. But uh, I trust myself because I love the Java and the Selenium. So that's why after that, so I confidently applied that because I knew it. So I can do that. Yeah.
So the companies that you applied were mostly automation or manual testing jobs?
First one was just they were focused on the manually testing, and then they had a framework and they were needed. So I said like I can do automation as well, and then they put me on automation side, and that's why I got another project in my first company.
Oh, so you were hired at the beginning as manual tester, and then you switched to automation in
Yeah,
your company, in the first company.
that's why they changed also after that my project to a payment system.
Okay, so while you were applying, you said that you were worried, and of course that's normal because you just finished the boot camp for 6 months and you don't know if you can do it or not. But what about after you find the job? How did you find yourself after like a couple of years, a couple of months working in the first company?
Yeah, of like after I can say a first week, so I felt like because there was a lot of meetings and the peoples are going around, so all informations are matched whatever I learned. So whatever I know, okay, what I know that what is next, what is next expecting. So everything is matched, and then it was so feel confident. So after a month,
So for a month, you were feeling confident in your first job?
yeah, now I can like in my current company, I told them, okay, just if you don't have automation framework, just leave me. So I can create it. I feel so confident because I know that now I can do it.
Yeah, perfect. And by the way, we're teaching two different frameworks, guys. We're teaching TestNG and we're teaching Cucumber. And I remember one of our students, she went to a company, she was working there, and they wanted in a new project, they wanted her to build the framework. And they said, you pick whatever you're going to pick. And she did this one with Cucumber, with teaching Cucumber and TestNG. She did the framework with Cucumber. And then the thing is, she just gave me a call. We are still in contact with her. And she said, that's what they're expecting. I have a meeting next week. And what should I tell them? Should I do it with Cucumber, TestNG? I said, which one you're more comfortable with? Because they give you the option. You can pick any tool that you want as long as it does the job. And you have already done this one with Cucumber. Just tell them that I already did this one. So you shouldn't be scared, and you should just like, they will definitely like it. And then after she presented that one to the managers, they were very happy, and they just, of course, they went with whatever she picked. So and the same thing you said happened with you. You'd pick you build that one with Cucumber probably and Selenium, and then you switch to you said Playwright or Cypress. Which one?
Playwright, yeah.
Playwright, because it was probably better for for your project.
Correct. So because I was using the Java and Selenium interaction with the application not behaving correctly actually. So that's why I learned that. So if you use the same language, that will helpful. And also if you switch to Playwright, because it's handling JavaScript. So after the Java, it was easy to learn it was easy for it to TypeScript. And then because I know how the testing needs to be go with automation side, and that's why it was easy to use the Playwright after spend like a couple days learning.
Perfect. And one of the questions that generally students like to ask is, which one is better, remote or on-site? What is your preference?
Neither one, because I don't like to work on hybrid. Because if you work remote, so you have to manage your day for your brain health, so you have to spend physically to yourself. But if you go to office, that's even so like time consuming, I can say. And hybrid is better. So like 2 days, 3 days home remote and 2 days office. So
the days that you're going to the office, you're working. The days you're staying at home, you're probably laying down. Yeah, it always depends on the person, but I would like, also my option would be the best would be hybrid, because you want to go to the office to meet people, to work there, but also sometimes you don't want to travel and you want to stay home. Probably you also have things to do, probably pick your kids from school or do something like maybe have some appointments. So it's very good. What about your company? Are they flexible if you have any appointment, if you're gonna go late or stuff like that, or they're like you have to be there exact time?
So they expect you to work 40 hours a week. So this is all the expectations, like whether you come at 8, whether you come at 9 or something. They just, if you like spend your 8 hours a day, and if you are bringing your responsibilities to a success, then everything is fine. They're so flexible for that. So sometimes like when I want to just go out, while I'm working, I'm just going out, just spend like 1.5 hour during walking by the lake, and then I'm coming back office.
Perfect. So I'm gonna see here. Do you guys have any questions for Mustafa? Because before I let him go, like I think that he answered most of the questions. If you have any other questions to him, I can direct them. If not, I think we're good with him coming here. So thank you very much, Mustafa, for coming, for answering all the questions here. And if there's any other job openings, don't forget to refer to our students. Okay.
Devin, thank you very much, Alien. So they just said that, so they'll hire more in this year, 2025. So currently, as I said, like they just hired 4 more QA at the same week. So, but they needs to be on site. Of course, if there will be any like opening position, I'll direct it to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mustafa, and have a good day.
Yes, have a good day. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to continue with the rest of the presentation. So we're going to talk a little bit about the job placement part and the people that find jobs. And then after that, I'm going to invite back Eric with he's going to talk about the pricing options. Okay, so one more time to wrap it up. So how do we learn? There are live classes, which are, I share the schedule with you. We're going to give you individual and group projects. There are also office hours. These are extra, not mandatory for people who need help. Our instructors will help them with extra meetings outside of the class hours if the students need some extra help. Every time we're going to give homeworks and tests to the students. We're going to give coding challenges so that they're practicing more and more. So when they go to the interviews, they're ready for the coding challenges in the interview. We have the final assessment, which we call the mock interview, which is the part where we make sure that you have learned everything and you're ready to apply for jobs. We have every week, one of the weeks is the STLC classes, or let's say the soft skill classes, and the Sunday generally is the review class. Every Sunday we review everything that we did during the week. So we're learning on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And on Sunday we do the review of the week. We're not learning something new, but we're just reviewing whatever we learned. So we have individual projects, group projects. We're going to give quizzes once in a while. And also we have extra sessions, which are mentor sessions. They will meet with their group once a week, not at the beginning, but after 3 months when the students have learned something. Towards the end, every week they'll meet with the students to ask the questions that they have regarding to the field. So of course, we have our job placement team. Ahmet is the lead of the job placement team, but he's not here right now. He's traveling, so I'm going to cover his part. So how do we help? Right? How do we help our students with the job placement? First, we do the mock interview to make sure that they're ready for the market. Then we help them how to build the resume. Then we're gonna also have sessions how to apply for jobs, when to apply, where to apply, and everything about job applications. Again, as I said, every Wednesday we have our soft skills classes, which we're helping them to learn the terminology in the field and everything. Also, we're gonna give knowledge about the market, as I said, which companies are good, which are better, where are the prices are higher and stuff like that. Information about the market. We also, as I mentioned, we have one-on-one mentoring sessions. Also, we have alumni network. So as I invited today, Mustafa, we have a lot of alumni which are working right now. Maybe I can say here more than 100 students are working in different companies right now, and they are some of them are also helping the students during the bootcamp. Some of them, they have a job opening, they let us know, and then we inform the students if it's relative to them. Also, even this one, even though it looks easy, guys, how to do the salary negotiation. Sometimes some of the students, they get a salary which can be a low ball, and they accept it automatically because, okay, even $50,000 is good for me. I'm going to start a career. But we tell them how to be careful, how to pick the highest salary, how to make sure that you can increase this salary without losing the offer that they're getting. Okay. So if you go to Google, guys, this is in Glassdoor, but there are different platforms that we're going to teach you how to apply in ZipRecruiter, Glassdoor, LinkedIn, and every of them. And you're going to see about the salary, yearly salary in US and Canada. So the yearly salary is generally about 100,000 a year, even more depending on your knowledge and everything. So of course, this one always depends on the state, depends on the region, right? But generally, this is the salary. And if you go yourself, guys, you can just look for software development engineering test. This is the job title, and see what is the salary and annual salary there in average. So I'm going to show you guys some offers from our students from different places. So this is a recent offer from a student of ours. She got, this is monthly. This will make a 95,000 per year. And of course, there are a lot of other bonuses like 5% annual bonus and stuff. So they try to make it like even more than 100K. So with bonuses and stuff. So this is one of the offers. This other offer, guys, was to a student of ours, which is in Switzerland. So we also have international students. Of course, this webinar today is only for US and Canada, but also we have international students. And his salary was 104,000 what is francs, whatever it's called in Switzerland. We have another one. Oh, this one was 120. So of course we have hidden the information of the company and the information of our student because we don't want to show them here publicly. But this is a real offer, guys, that came to our students and they accepted and they have been working there. So this is the yearly salary, 120. And then of course there are also other incentives that the companies give. This is another one. This is exactly $100,000 a year. And this is the title here is QA assurance engineer. So QA engineer. So there are different titles, guys. QA engineer, STAT. So different titles depending on the company. Sometimes we also have students who have hired as lead automation engineer. Another one is 99,000 per year. This is Yeah, so this is a remote job, right? So this is a remote one. So depending, right, whenever they give the offer, they also so this you see this company has a 401 match of 60%, which is a very high one. And then another one 95, and then another one here. This is monthly. It says 100,000 per year. So different companies, guys, are different companies depending on the place, depending on the city, depending on the position, right? So this looking for a senior software quality assurance analyst, and that is the right. That is the. So they give you also the PDO, which are 7 days, whatever, like different things that we go over with the student. We go together with the student over this detailed information and see what is, let's say if they got a couple of offers, which one is better. Sometimes this might be lower and another one might be higher, but this might be a better option because this gives other benefits here which are relevant to the student. Okay. And the last one that I was going to show is on June, and this is 115 per year, and also 401k 401 matching and other things here. So there are a lot of, right, there are a lot of offers from different cities, from also international students, and depending on the state, depending on the city, also the salaries might be different. So I can tell you guys, most of our students, right, are from New York. So these are three regions that I heard the most, but of course there are different places. So Florida is one of them, Texas, New York, New Jersey, and VA here in New York. Sorry, in US. And also we have students from Canada. And I don't remember the regions from Canada. And also we got a recent offer last week from Belgium. A student of ours in Belgium, he got an offer there. So different places and different pricing and different offers there. Okay. So I'm gonna go back here and continue with the presentation. So these are different companies that our students have been hired. So they have been hired in CVS, in AWS, in United Airlines, eBay, different companies, and they're being hired, right? They've been hired with in different cities, different states, depending on, right, and some of them remote, some of them hybrid. So as I said, we have our job placement team, and they help our students with the job placement. So they have more information. I have more information about the classes and the curriculum, and there is the other team which has more information about the job placement. So I'm gonna go back and give the microphone back to Eric. He's gonna talk a little bit about the prices, how our pricing works, and if it works for you and if it's the best. So you're gonna get the information and decide if this is the best option for you. Okay.
All right, thank you so much, Ilian. So I just want to confirm with everyone, can you see my screen where it says average cost of IT education? If you could just give me an acknowledgement there real quickly. Thank you so much. So a lot of you already know this, when you apply to university nowadays, it's an arm and a leg, isn't it? I mean, if you don't have a scholarship, if you don't have a grant, it is a lot of money. $36,000 plus per year is the average tuition nowadays. And of course, there are some private universities that are well over 50, 60, $70,000 a year. So at the end of 4 years, assuming that you didn't have a scholarship, you didn't have a grant, you're talking about 200, potentially even around $300,000, for your 4 year degree. It's crazy, isn't it? And then you look at other boot camps. So the average cost for a boot camp is well over $13,000. So we do things a little bit differently here because we get a lot of folks who tune into our information sessions who want to get involved. They want to get involved in the IT industry. They hear one of our our alumnus, and he's saying, yes, like Mustafa he was saying, yes, I was in a similar situation to you, and I didn't even know what coding was all about. Now, all of a sudden, he's doing really well in his career and got started in his career not too long after taking our boot camp, which isn't the case with everybody that they get started right away, but we will help you in that process. So we have divided the tuition into a couple of parts. It's one tuition, but we want to make it easy for you, as easy as possible to get involved. So let me walk you through exactly how this works. All right. So average boot camp, well over $13,000 to get involved. We're not doing it that way. So the regular tuition is at 5249. 5249. What we are offering for all of you who are in attendance today, we call this our Christmas discount, and really it goes into early part of January. We're offering an additional $400 off. So that brings the total down to 4849, which is also not even done all at once, guys. Don't worry. That's actually done in 7 monthly installments of 693 a month. Okay, so 7 installments of 693 a month. So that's during the boot camp that's actually accomplished. Now, the second part of the tuition, it's not two tuitions, it's just one tuition. We just simply divided it into two parts to make it easy for you. Also, it puts us on the same side of the table. So rather than being on the other side of the table, we're on the same side of the table with you because we are incentivized to help you find that first job, to help get you your foot in the door in the IT industry. And so we accomplished that, the second part of the tuition, with a placement fee. So the placement fee is 85% of your first month's salary after you find a job. You don't pay this if you can't find a job, which we're going to help you do. And that's paid in 4 monthly installments. So don't worry about, oh man, I just found a job. Now I have to pay Neotech Academy, my first month's salary. No, it's 85% of your first month's salary. And that's divided into 4 monthly installments. So it's one tuition. We're just simply dividing it into two parts to make it easy for you, as easy as possible. And then we bring the tuition down even further. If you let us know if you were referred by a Neotech student or alumni, and there's an additional discount on top of that. There's a referral discount. There are also group discounts. So each student will get, we're bringing the price down even further. So each student will get an additional $150 off if you sign up with a group of 2. If there's a group of 3, each student gets an additional $200 off. Now, if you're signing up with a group of 4 or more, reach out to us, let us know, and we will work with you to bring the tuition down even further. So let me recap that real quickly. Think about it for a second. So average boot camp is over $13,000. You listened to Elian earlier. He's our lead instructor, one of our founders. He is keeping up with changes in the IT industry. And the reason I point that out to you is because this is all market driven, this syllabus. So we're not just throwing in a bunch of fluff just so we can make it 6 months. It's all relevant information to help you, just as Mustafa was saying earlier, for when you land that first job. And we encourage people to sign up in groups if you can. If you can't, that's fine too. But if you do sign up with some friends, think about it like this. You can encourage each other. You can help motivate each other. Maybe even do homework together. It's kind of like going to the gym with a friend of yours to help motivate you. Now, here's a big question people have. Again, there's a money back guarantee. What if I change my mind later? Well, there's zero deposit. There's no application fee. You don't pay anything until the boot camp actually begins. You start paying when the classes begin, not before. You can cancel for free anytime until the boot camp actually starts, keeping in mind there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. In other words, there's a 100% refund if you decide to leave. So you have until you complete your first month. In that sense, think about it, guys, there's no risk on your part. We're the ones taking the risk because we're the ones giving you at least partial education for that first month and knowing that you have the option of actually leaving. We're also putting ourselves on the same side of the table with you so that after you are done with the boot camp, we're helping you with that job placement. And of course, we're incentivized to help you find that job placement because that winds up becoming the rest of your tuition at that point. So to learn more about the bootcamp, simply go to neotechacademy.com/bootcamp. You can also book a call with our admissions team, neotech.live/call. If you're not ready to call, simply submit your interest by going to neotechacademy.com/apply. But yes, definitely secure your spot now. It's just like anything else. If you don't take action while you're thinking about it, you probably never will. So if you feel that you might be the right fit, you're not necessarily signing up right now. Although those of you who do sign up between, during the Christmas season, you do get that extra 400 off, which is a huge discount because we haven't offered that before. So definitely secure your spot now if you feel this is the right fit for you. Email us with any questions, team@neotechacademy.com. You can also call us if you wish, area code 929-566-3919. Or like I said earlier, you can schedule a phone call, neotech.live/call. Guys, just real quickly, run through a quick little comparison between what we offer at Neotech compared to being self-taught, which some people try to do, going to a university and online courses. To summarize this whole thing, what you're seeing on your screen, if you try to learn it yourself, you are saying that you are the expert. Are you the expert right now? Think of where you are right now, not really knowing much of anything about the IT industry, and imagine where you could be in 6 months or 6 months after the boot camp has started and you've now graduated, knowing so much more than where you are right now. Because we're going to compress, like I said earlier, years of experience, years of knowledge into an accelerated course, which is why we call it a boot camp. So if you've got military experience, you know that you learn a lot in a very short amount of time. So when the bullets are flying, you know exactly what to do. And that's what we're doing here with you with our 6-month boot camp. But you're learning from the experts. You get hands-on live training. You career services, you're not getting that if you're self-taught. University, it's kind of limited as well. Online courses, that doesn't exist. As I said earlier, the learning content is market-driven. Self-taught, it's up to you. It's very theoretical in universities. Online courses, it might be, market-driven, it might not. There are a lot of question marks there. What we do here with our boot camp is we address all the objections, all the issues, all the roadblocks that people would have in getting involved in the IT industry. We've removed all those roadblocks to make it as easy as possible for you to get involved. And again, we're taking the risk. So why Neotech Academy? I hope you've seen this, folks. We are passionate about what it is that we're doing, and this is all we do. I always like to point this out. It's not Neotech Academy where we teach you on IT training, but we also have a truck driving and bartending school. Nothing wrong with doing those things. We just don't offer that. All we do is train people on how to get their career started in IT. The program is tested. That's the reason why we won all these awards for best program, best course last year, the year before that even, and this year. We constantly work on guiding our students towards the best jobs in the marketplace. And like we were talking about earlier, you'll know as you start to go through our process which fields you might want to start to specialize in. And we're always going to be here to help you help build your career from the ground up. So guys, what I want to do is, because I'm sure there'll be some additional questions here, I want to bring back Elian, and what we're going to do is answer any final questions that you have. But if you feel that this might be the thing for you, if you like what you've heard so far and want to learn more, reach out to us and definitely take advantage of that big discount that we've got going during this Christmas season.
Yes. So if you have any questions, guys, please ask your questions in the chat section of the Zoom, and we can answer your questions if it's anything that has not been answered yet. So if I can share my screen, I would like to go one more time over the pricing, because that's one of the important parts. So just for you to make sure that we re-explain this one. So the tuition, guys, right? As Eric mentioned, so we split the tuition in 2 parts. The first part is the part during the bootcamp, during the 6 months of the bootcamp. And the second part is only after find a job. So why do we do this way? We do it this way because we want to make sure that we will help you, and we want to make sure that you are we are on the same side with you. So after you find the job, guys, we're gonna get the second part of the tuition, and that is also paid with installments. So the first part is $5,249, which goes down to $4,849. You can pay this one with interest-free with 7 months during the bootcamp for $693 per month. So you can pay this one during the bootcamp, and only after you find the job, then of course we're gonna also help you to find a job. Only after find the job, you will pay 85% of your first month's salary. And then this also will be paid with installments. So we don't want you to pay everything up front. And then if you don't find a job, we don't care about you. We want to make sure that, right, we're going to push you until the end, until you find the job. In the remote, so we have a question here. In the remote work jobs, how many hours a day are we typically working? So normally, right, even if you're working remote, even if you're working on site, generally the working hours is 40 hours a week, 8 to 5. But of course, if you're remotely, you're a little bit more flexible. You can leave some things for later. Of course, during the day you have meetings. If you want to do something, you can inform the team and say, you know what, I'm going to be off right now, but I'm going to stay a little bit later. And of course, after this one, so this is the normal one. After this one, everything depends on the company, depends on the person. I have there was a student of mine. He said, I'm working only 2 hours per day. I'm trying to find a second job right now because I have a lot of free time. But of course, this always depends, right? Always depends on the person, depends on the company. And even though we don't tell you to work 2 or 3 jobs, but we have seen students who are working 2 jobs. And of course, we're not promising anything, but what we want you to find the first job, and then after that, you can go even beyond them. Is it something that would change depending on the project? So no, it doesn't change on the project. So what it works. So if you're working on a project, you're going to have your working hours. Sometimes, guys, your project is done while you're waiting for another project. You're going to be paid even while waiting for the second project. But of course, if you start another project, again, your working hours will be the same. It's not like it will change on a project. Most of the time, 99% of the time, guys, you're not going to be working like in the evenings. You're not going to be working on the weekends. But there might be some emergencies, probably once a week, so a couple of weeks. Maybe when there is a deployment, which there is an update, they want to make sure everything goes smooth. So they'll let you know to be there during the time. So if they want you besides these hours, they'll let you know, but it shouldn't be any big thing. And as I said, there are a lot of people, especially young people, they want to have free time and they want to work on the weekends. I have seen this type of people working like that, even though I don't prefer to leave it during the week and work on the weekends. But there might be people that working remotely, guys, is generally very, very flexible. But of course, it's a problem because since it's very flexible, it's very difficult for you to be on top of the stuff. So probably you just leave them, procrastinate, and then you're going to be in trouble. Any other questions, guys? So this is about the tuition, guys. As I said, it's 2 parts just for us to make sure that we're helping you until you find the job, right? To make sure that we're pushing you, right? We have seen a lot of students that after done with the boot camp, they apply a couple of jobs and then just quit applying. And our job placement team is pushing them, trying to make sure they're applying to find the job, because we're going to get the second part of the payment. That's why we want to, right, push them so that they find the job, they're happy, but also we're happy because we get the second part of the payment. How many QA testers are typically on the team? These are things that you're going to learn during the boot camps and during the boot camp and also with your mentors. But I can say you in general, so a team of, let's say, 6 developers can have 1 or 2 QAs. In a company, there might be 2 or 3 teams. So each team will have their own QAs, or sometimes they can have QAs which are doing the job for multiple projects or for multiple teams. So always depends on the company. These are very flexible. But of course, you can have a lot of examples of our teachers, instructors, and our mentors that will tell you about their experience, their thing, that how it works in their company, so that you have an idea. So when you go to the interviews, you know about this field and you know about this kind of questions. But of course, this is a thing that will be asked during our soft skill classes. Okay, and also, guys, don't forget, if you apply now, guys, during this season, right, holiday season, you're gonna get a $400 off discount during this season, so your tuition goes down. If you are referred by a Neotech student like Mustafa or somebody else, please mention it in your application so that you get an extra $200 discount. So you're gonna talk with our specialists about this kind of discounts. If you have any friends of yours, guys, go in groups, 2 or 3 people together, you get extra discounts. You're gonna say, why are you giving discount if you're going 2 people in once? Because we want you to go together. Why? Because also you're helping each other. When you're doing the boot camp with another person, it's like going to a gym with another person. So you need a gym buddy. If you lose your motivation, he will help you. If he loses motivation, you're gonna help him or her. So that is the same thing with the boot camp. I know 6 months looks very, let's say, a short amount of time, but of course, like a lot of people during this time, they lose the motivation. That's why they need other people to do it together. And that's also, you got a discount for that one. Okay. So make sure that you mention all the discounts when you make a call to our admission specialist so that your tuition goes more and more down. Okay. Any other questions, guys, before we close this info session? John, Sophia, Batin. Any other more questions? Okay, so since we don't have any other more questions, thank you everybody for joining. Our next bootcamp will start on February 16th. Please schedule your time. Make sure that you are ready for this one, and please take the bootcamp seriously and commit to that one. Okay. Hopefully I see you in February 16th.
All right. Congratulations, guys. Take care.